Welcome to Journey to Authenticity, the podcast designed to help you become your true authentic self, create a clear vision for life, and ultimately step into a life of transformation. I'm your host, Braiden Belnap. I'm a transformation life coach, speaker, and entrepreneur dedicated to helping you do just that, transform your life. Today, we're bringing you the close of Journey to Authenticity. Now, this isn't the close of Journey to Authenticity forever. This isn't a goodbye. This is a see you later. At this time, I'm excited to really talk about my journey, right? This is Journey to Authenticity. This journey that I'm going to talk about, this has been 4 years of my life. This has been 4 years of my beautiful wife's life over here. The things that we've gotten from this podcast are life-changing for the rest of our lives. And we're going to continue that just in a new light. And I'm excited to talk about what that looks like. I'm excited to talk about what this journey has looked like, what our takeaways, the people we've met, reflect on conversations. I'm excited to talk about honoring the journey, honoring your journey. In this time, almost more than ever, is important to lean in to become your true authentic self and live a life of transformation. Obviously, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, as they always say, but the second best time is today. I mean, what are we really waiting for? What are we waiting for? Why wait to be the best you? Why wait to build the best relationship? Why wait to build the best life? You're not promised tomorrow. So at the very least, you can do your best today. And of course, I'm excited to talk about stepping into your power. To me, that's what this feels like. This close of this chapter, this podcast was a great stepping stone to getting to know people, to learn how to speak, to learn how to tell stories, to learn how to interview. And don't get me wrong, we will be back. But right now I need to take those skills, what I've learned, and I need to go implement it into the world. And then we'll come to a close and we'll say, see you later. And we'll talk about how we can consistently connect so that I can truly consistently help you transform your life and become the best version of you. With that in mind, I want to start off with honoring your journey. As I said earlier, right, it's the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The second best time is today. That's what this is for me. This entire podcast has been a planting of trees for me in my life. It's been planting seeds. For myself, I've been able to interview Sean Whalen, The Muscle, Brett Chell, Hugh Smith, so many guests that just have come in and poured on into you, but also in turn have poured onto me. I've been able to learn really how to master my spirit, or at least have a good direction for this. Through this podcast, I've met Christians. I've met different religious people in different religions. And as a result of that, I haven't just been reading the books that have helped me in all areas of life. Mainly in spirit, it's been encouraging to recognize that everybody has a different story as to why they believe in what they believe in. That's been an encouragement. As I consistently pursue, I found my truth in my spirit. I know I believe in Jesus Christ. That was a journey for me in figuring that out. This podcast, don't get me wrong, I believe I would have found that at some point. But seeing the people that live Christian lives, it's inspiring. The people that they are as individuals, the relationships that they've grown into their life, and the impact that they've made. And of course, that can be done realistically with any religion or even being an atheist. But to me, the Christianity just rings true. And seeing those examples come onto this podcast has really shined a light on what is possible for me. My mind, learning about cold plunges, learning about sauna, learning about not just the importance of working out for your body viewpoint, but an internal dialogue. It keeps me pushing forward for the best, being the best version of me within my body. And my relationships. I mean, this podcast has brought tremendous growth for me and my wife. Just on an individual sense. But naturally, when you talk about something, you lean into it more. Whatever you focus on, you reap in life. And in this relationship, me and my wife have been able to do amazing podcasts on this podcast, A Journey to Authenticity. Those conversations take place outside of the podcast as well. This podcast really started to inspire future things. Instead of just considering what we wanted to do for a podcast, we considered how we really wanted to live. That's authenticity, right? Being able to speak and do. If you're just speaking, it's inauthentic. If you're just doing, but you're not speaking and not living, then you're really being inauthentic. Being able to go through that with my wife, just not in an individual sense, but as a couple, and recognizing, okay, we want to do better here, and then we want to teach the world, has encouraged us to consistently improve. And I want to slow down here. This is my journey, right? This was about me, but I want to recognize how that can really implement into your life. There is people right now, whether it's in your life, people on social media, a book that you can start to lean on in this journey. You can start to have those conversations about spirit, mind, body, what you really want in life, what you want in your relationships, and what you want in your impact. And as you start to focus more on that, naturally you will do. Yes, this podcast is called Journey to Authenticity, and in order to get there, you need to have the choice and the awareness to be you. You need to be able to step into a life of transformation. And as a result of that, you will get your vision. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. As long as you start to focus on it. And of course, beyond me and Megan, we've been able to be fortunate in meeting some transformative people here in the state of Utah and even nationwide. In this journey, I've been able to coach people from this podcast and the content this has created. This has given me the opportunity to coach people from Thailand, Russia, Mexico, around the United States. This podcast has allowed me to make an international impact. I'm not just talking Utah. I'm just not talking about this community. This podcast, the one that you're watching right now or listening, has made a national impact, just not from the podcast listened to. This has, again, allowed me to get on a phone call with people internationally. And I don't say that as a badge of honor. I don't say that as something of look at me, look at me. I'm talking about the message of authenticity is so powerful. It's something we all need. If you are not authentic right now, it is a choice. If you are authentic right now, it is a choice. You're going to choose your heart. Either you're going to choose to wake up early, live life, and put yourself through difficult situations, allowing you to live an easier life, or you're going to choose comfort. And naturally, that's tremendously harder because whether you're 70, 80, 90, or 20, or 50, at some point, if you do not start to live authentically, you will have regret, you will have guilt, you will have frustrations for yourself and the ones around you. Not only does it hurt you, it hurts your relationships closest to you and the impact that you're capable of making. This message is so prominent today that this podcast, again, has made international impact. And I want to emphasize that for you. You start to live authentically, you will impact yourself, your relationships, and what you do in this world. You too can make an international impact. You too can be yourself. You too can make transformation in your own life. And you too can make a massive impact if you choose. That's it. Choice. The flip side of that is impact, just not as much or a negative impact. That's the beauty of Journey to Authenticity. And you need to honor your journey. This isn't an elevator. Life is a staircase. The reason that people are inauthentic today is because they've practiced being inauthentic. 99.9% of the people that I've coached in my entire journey all have the same question. How do I become confident? And it's through repetitions. Confidence is just about keeping your promise to yourself, doing your best, and growing consistently. Confidence isn't just a matter of hitting a specific result all the time. It's about the daily habits, what takes you there. So every time you go into a new event, a community, hanging out with your friends, going out with your family, every single time you choose to be inauthentic, you are choosing that. And as a result of that, you're not confident, you're inauthentic, you're not fully transforming, and you're fully not making the impact that you're capable of making. But today, if you just started, you know what, I'm going to wake up, or I'm going to go through the rest of my day. I'm going to go into work. I'm going to go hang out with my friends, and I'm going to be authentic today. And you ask yourself what that really looks like, and you practice it. Don't get me wrong. It's going to feel clunky. It might feel weird. You might have a little bit of fear around it. Maybe some shame. Maybe some frustrations. But at the end of the day, at the end of the moment, you will be closer to the best you. You will be closer to what transformation looks like for you. You'll be closer to making that impact on your kids or your future kids. You'll be that much closer to making an impact on your community, your family, and making an impact on a stranger. See, this podcast and talking about honoring the journey, one of the toughest things for me in my life was accepting my past. It wasn't forgetting my past. It wasn't letting my past go. It was acceptance. It was forgiveness, self-forgiveness. As a lot of you know, a majority of my past, or a big part of my past in middle school segment, was petty theft, drugs, alcohol. That was including hurting my friends and family, losing relationships that I cared about most, setting me up to not have friends that I built from elementary school for the rest of my life. There was so much guilt, shame, frustrations built into that experience that at a drop of a hat, a drop of a pin, I would lose my emotional control because I felt so guilty, so shameful, so frustrated because of what I had done. After leaning into that, transforming, getting into sales, marketing, starting my coaching, I started to lean into that. I started to tell my story. And one of the most impactful stories that I tell to this day is the story of when I stole money from my own brother. Now, fast forward, and that was to buy drugs for me and my friends. Fast forward years and years after that, I promised myself before I even met my wife that I would pay my brother back in full before I got married. Then, of course, I met my beautiful wife. We were about to get married. And it was a week or so before that marriage that I took my brother out to dinner and apologized to him, paid him back in full. That was a lot. There was a lot of emotions for me. I'm sure there was a lot of emotions for my brother. That allowed us to get closer, which was so beautiful. And that one story out of all the 171 podcasts, this is number 171. That's the story that has had one of the most impacts, because it's shown people what's possible, that they can have a hard conversation. They can apologize. They can get close to their friends and family. Being vulnerable is necessary in this world. You can't be authentic and not be vulnerable. It's part of the process. That's one story of many. And again, I just want to recognize that you have a story as well. You have a story to tell. Honor your journey, the past, the present, and the future. Recognize today that if you choose to be authentic, if you choose to transform, you choose to set that vision for yourself and you lean in, you take it step by step by step by step by step. You practice being authentic. You practice being confident. You start to tell your story, that you don't need a podcast. You don't even need a social media presence to make an impact on a big level. One story in a grocery line can transform somebody's life for the rest of their life. Sometimes people just need to be examples, and you can be that example. You can be that light at the end of the tunnel for somebody else. We've all needed people at the end of the tunnel. Are you going to be that for others? Are you going to be that for you? Because again, it is a choice. And I just want to recognize honoring your journey of, we are recording the Sunday following Charlie Kirk's assassination. Talk about honoring your journey. I mean, in a matter of days, somebody that had so much love and so much hate, so much people came together. You cannot silence somebody's voice. You cannot silence my voice, and you cannot silence anybody else's voice in this world. Because the moment somebody tries to take it away or does take it away, that voice only gets stronger. That community only gets stronger. In a time that the world tries to shut down authenticity, it is more important than ever to have your voice for yourself. Nobody can hate you more than yourself. So when you truly find that self-love of finding the way of what your true authentic self looks like, and you lean into that and you transform to make that a reality, your voice becomes heard for you. And that will naturally give the voice and other people that don't feel like they have a voice a chance. Just as Charlie Kirk did. He leaned in, he had a voice, he had a strong presence. And in a moment of days of an assassination, so many people have found God again. So many people have given themselves to Jesus. So many people have picked up a Bible for the first time. So many people have started to speak up, gather into communities, yet there's not been any killings, any burning, any stealing, any fire, people lighting cars on fire and buildings on fire. Nothing's happened. It's been all based upon somebody having a voice, somebody willing to hand other people a microphone to give them a voice, and his voice, they try to shut his voice down, his story, and now it lives on through so many because of that one example. And you can do that. Even if it starts with your family, you can start to do that. So honor your journey. And that leads us into stepping into our power. I understand that it can be a scary thing. I understand that there's a fear of the unknown there, of what that really can look like. I understand that as you pursue to step into your own power, you may not really know what that looks like for yourself, for your relationships, and for your life, but you can get a good idea. You can have a real good idea. For me, stepping into my power is just this, saying see you later to this podcast, and at some point I will be back. But stepping into my power is getting out in the real world with you all. Getting out in the world where we can say hello, we can have a conversation, where I can speak to kids, that I can go tell my story to struggled teenagers that can recognize the power of God, the power of myself, and the power of choice, that being authentic and being transformative is a choice. Journey to authenticity. Yes, we call it journey to authenticity because you're always growing the best version of you. But at the end of the day, which is the last thing that I want to leave with, is that authenticity is a choice. Transformation is a choice. If you are choosing not to keep your word to yourself, do your best or grow, or you're choosing not to do that for others based upon the things that you commit to, you are making a choice. And that doesn't just impact you. That impacts the people that you love closest to you. And that impacts what you're capable of doing in this life. On the flip side, if you do keep your word to yourself, you do your best and you grow. It's not a matter of if you will succeed. It's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if you will become the best version of yourself. It's just a matter of when. It's not a if you will have and get the most beautiful marriage in your life. It's just a matter of when. But you have to make the choice. With that in mind, thank you again so much for joining me on Journey to Authenticity podcast, consistently leaning into being the best version of you, creating a transformative life. This is not a goodbye. This is a see you later. I'm excited to see you in person on social media and be able to connect with you all that truly are looking and needing that support, becoming the best you and transforming. That in mind, if you're ready to connect, you're ready to take that next step even further, you're ready to transform yourself, go to braidenbelnap.com or the link below, go to coaching. I would absolutely love to gift you a coaching session where we can really lean in, understand where you're going, how to get there, and start to transform those needs so that you can accomplish the best you, the most beautiful relationships, and the most beautiful life. That in mind, we will see you later. Bye-bye.